Is it a small Kelvin Momo? Yeah, they've been trending. So Kabza was said to have cheated on his wife with some chick, and that chick sort of released what do you call this text messages of their conversation. Then we have Kelvin Momo, but there's a picture that's circulating of Kelvin Momo and a new girl. Do we feel like we're entitled for Kelvin Momo to come out and say that, you know what, I've actually broken up with this chick. So now, because I've broken up with this chick, I'm now moving on with this chick. No, like
Sometimes give people grace,
give
just
people grace.
yeah,
Yeah,
just allow them to come out and say that, okay, this is what happened, and
yeah.
this is, because I feel like a lot of these situations, it's always like the black man's side is never heard.
Mm,
It's always like, oh yeah, this is like, in this situation, it's just a picture that came out. Like
yeah.
the Elon Musk had a road show where he was like presenting his latest project, the Tesla robot
Mm.
taxis. And
Okay.
the
Yeah, I
robo,
saw the
yeah,
taxi thing as well, and I was like, shit,
yeah,
are we gonna get rid of Ubers now?
and the robo, like actual robots.
So Cole came out with a response, um, and yeah, basically responding as to why he didn't um get involved into the beef. So like, I just wanted to hear your side. What do you think? I don't. Okay. Yeah. Welcome to another episode of the Raw Takes. It's episode six.
Number 6, yeah.
Episode six, right? Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Welcome to episode six of the Raw Takes. It's your boy TP, aka Kobe. You know what it is. We get to it, yes, sir. So yeah. Just want to start off this episode just to talk about why we actually just started this podcast. So yeah, the reason why we actually started this podcast where we talk about sort of the hip hop culture is mainly to just it was mainly out of passion for hip hop and the love for hip hop and what hip hop has done for us. And I'll speak on my own personal experience as well. Yeah, so hip hop for me was basically, what do you call this? It's something that gave me hope. Having grown up in a township, grown up in a township where I had to go through bullying at a very young stage, up until my matric, where I had to study late nights listening to it. This is the music that inspired me to be where I am. And I'm not saying that I'm extremely successful or whatever. It's not even that. I'm just saying that this is the music that keeps me going up until today. So it's something that I wanted to talk about and sort of give you guys my own perspective of the little knowledge that I have as a student of hip hop. And so when I start talking about Drake, and I say that I think that Drake's song was made, or J. Cole's song was made, or even Jay Z's song was made, I'm not saying it to sensationalize something or cloud chase. I'm saying it because I've listened to all of Drake's discography, and I'm talking about mixtapes. I'm talking about the Room for Improvement. This is Drake's mixtape, Room for Improvement mixtape. I'm talking about the Comeback Season. That's a Drake mixtape as well. This
Thank
is
Me Later. People forget that as
before
well.
Thank Me Later. So far gone.
Yeah.
You get me? So I've been listening to Drake and even went back to J. Cole stuff. Listened to the warm up, listened to Friday Night Lights, listened to Sideline Story up until Forest
Forest Hills
Hills.
Drive,
Yeah.
yeah. That's where most people think that J. Cole started,
Yeah,
but like
that's
it's
that's where most people think J. Cole started off, you know? And if I ever make an opinion to say that I think that Biggie's in my top two or top one, that's because when I listened to Ready to Die, the album sounds like Biggie was ready to die. You get me? Because I was that guy who was a nerd in a sense that when I heard that, okay, these two people beefed and both of them died, why was it that they died? I had to go back to their discographies, understand why that led to that. And you can even hear in Biggie's music that they talk about uh, the things that they did in the streets, like robbing, like selling dope, all of that stuff.
Mm.
And from that beef, you understand how nowadays beef differs from back in 1990 something, you know?
I think the one thing that people ignore is that hip hop is always storytelling, and there's a
Yeah,
story to people. So
yeah,
like we grew up
yeah,
listening to these stories, and
yeah.
there are some stories that stand out more than others.
Mm,
So
mm, mm,
like hip hop groomed us to where
mm.
we are going, and
Yeah,
there's a
yeah.
story to it. Like
Nah,
there's
definitely.
a storytelling to
There is.
Drake, to Biggie, to Rick Ross,
Word, word,
whoever it
word.
is. Like we love the storytelling element around it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. No, it goes without saying. And so, just to clear things out, we're here to give our honest opinions on things,
Mhm.
not just hip hop only, but overall on everything that we see in the news or whatever. We're just giving you our honest opinion on what we think the music state or what something that's happening out there.
Mm.
So, unfortunately, we had to start on a dark note. But yeah, sometimes that happens, you know. Sometimes you gotta have that family meeting just to clear things up, you know.
Yeah. Eh,
So, but otherwise, I'm just gonna ask my co-host, Mister Tuafeni, how was your week? How was are your ducks in a what do you say? Are your ducks in a row? Are your cats in line?
I think
What's what?
after you mentioned what you said, like after all, it's the raw takes. We take
Word,
raw
word, word,
takes, what we feel, and
word, word,
what
word.
we, yeah,
Yeah,
our journey, our story.
yeah.
So yeah. So this week has been a good week for me. I've been taking it easy, taking it slow.
Did you do anything interesting this week?
Yeah, like we had a work event, and like we met up with colleagues and stuff.
Oh, okay.
So like it
Oh,
was
the
a,
Thursday one, eh?
yeah, the Thursday one. You were there as well.
Yeah, I was there. I
Yeah,
was
it
there. I
was
had
a
to.
good moment to connect with
Nah, it was
people.
it was nice. It was nice. It
Yeah,
was nice.
because like you hardly get those, and everyone was just in a jolly mood, and
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
good vibes overall.
Nah, 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 nah. I get you. I get you.
Mm.
Nah, it was fire. It was fire. It was fire. I liked it. I liked it. Yeah, we got to chill with everyone. Got to see everyone, and catch up and all of that. But yeah. Otherwise, on another darker note, I don't know if you saw. I think let's just get into what's happening in the streets, right?
Hmm.
Kabza the Small, Kelvin, Momo. Yeah, they've been trending. So Kabza was said to have cheated on his wife with some chick, and that chick sort of released what do you call this text messages of their conversation. And then we have Kelvin Momo, who released a picture of, I don't know if it's him or who, but there's a picture that's circulating because we need to make sure. There's a picture that's circulating of Kelvin Momo and a new girl. And so now people are saying, hey, Kelvin Momo led Baba Allah and all of that and all that. But I just want to start off by saying this. Guys, for me, Twitter is an alternate universe or an adverse universe from our reality, in a sense that when you go on Twitter, you need to always like just make sure that whatever you're seeing on Twitter is like you check your source and all of that, and also know that people that are on Twitter are there to say shock, like not like shock value means more retweets, more likes, more whatever. So whatever that's being said on Twitter about people, right?
Yeah.
The most shocking thing is the one that stands out the most.
Mhm.
You get me?
I'm always curious when these things break out. Like, who's pushing this narrative? Like,
It's usually people like your Musa
yeah,
Kaula, Chris Excel, and whenever you see those type of things, you need to just also just take two steps back
yeah,
and
and
think for
ask
yourself.
yourself, yeah,
Yeah,
because the thing is, like, those people have ulterior motives, and we
they do.
always look at it from their perspective and
Mm.
ask and think that that's the actual narrative. But like, there's always things behind why they are pushing that narrative. So it could be a picture from a year ago,
Yeah,
or it could be a picture from now, but like, we don't know because they never say that. They're always pushing what they want to drive
yeah,
to us, you know.
and just also one thing that I wanted to talk about is on that is I don't know why nowadays it's so popular or it's popping that devaluing black men or destroying black men is a thing in the sense that it doesn't even matter what Kabza has done for the culture. And I'm not here trying to say that people shouldn't be held accountable, but from just hearing one person who hasn't even verified the information that they are putting out in the public, but just because they know that people like those type of things, the fact that those people like the fact that the message that's currently coming out is things that actually affect like black successful men, things like the Kabza situation where the chick that sent out the text messages, right, hasn't even been verified as to who this person is. This person hasn't come out or whatever. But right now, people are now talking about how Kabza is a
Kabza,
bad person,
yeah,
how all of that. Like people are just gunning for black men, and people don't realize that this type of things is the reason why Maporisa is
had the
having
rent, yeah,
have
went
the
off,
rent.
yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing is, it's information is so readily available, but how much do we verify that this is the right information we
Mm,
should follow? Like,
mm,
sometimes
mm,
we just see a picture pop up and we are like, oh
mm,
yeah, this is what happened. But like, and Musa Kalawa will create a narrative around it, but like,
mm,
we are
mm.
never really like questioning in the sense of, is this true?
We,
Is this,
we're never questioning
yeah, and
anything.
the context as well, because like, we see a picture and like, we never ask ourselves like, what's the context of what's happening? And at the end of the day, who's being devalued? Black man is being devalued. He's being seen in a specific way of like, this is what black men are up to, but like, that's not our intentions, and it's never really like what we are getting up
Yeah,
to. Yeah,
like for nowadays, what I'll tell you is it doesn't matter whether what's being said is true or not. That's what's happening. What's happening is that the fact that this guy who has 200K followers or this guy who has 300K followers said something that just starts catching fire, and
mm.
it's now
And it's a
what's called
wildfire,
yeah, it's
everyone catches on it, and
yeah.
like, yeah.
And also on top of that, like let's be honest, isn't it okay for Kelvin Momo to feel like, okay, you know what, I am personally done with my relationship with Baba.
Mm.
I now am gonna date someone. Like, why is it that we like do we feel like we're entitled for Kelvin Momo to come out and say that, you know what, I've actually broken up with this chick.
Mm.
So now because I've broken up with this chick, I'm now moving on with this chick. No, like
And
he
we,
doesn't even have to tell us. He just has to live his
yeah,
life. Like if
and the thing
relationships
is,
are done, they're done.
the moment we see something different, we condemn them. Like,
Yeah.
black men are condemned in, like, when we see that he's posting someone different
Yeah.
or something is happening around his situation, and they don't
Yeah.
come out, obviously, we are like, let's condemn him and say that he's the bad guy. How is he the bad guy if something's changed in his, you know?
That's true. And on top of that, it doesn't even do good for the artist speaking out,
Yeah.
because once you speak out, then you adding more fuel to the fire, and then
It doesn't look
There's
good
just
to
too much.
you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's just too much to it, and I don't understand it, guys. Like, look, whenever you see some on the internet, please,
Verified.
yeah, don't be those
Verified.
dumb people who are just on the internet and now you're just reading everything and you're taking it for word for word. Like, we know that there's people who are, I'm not gonna say cloud chasers, but for lack of a better word, I'm gonna say that word. But like, can you just have some? I'm gonna say skepticism in terms of what you read. Use your brains for once and don't just jump on the wave of like,
And also just
hey,
sometimes give people grace,
give
just,
people grace.
yeah,
Yeah,
just allow them to come out and say that, okay, this is what happened, and
yeah.
this is, because I feel like a lot of these situations, it's always like the black man's side is never heard.
Mm,
It's always like, oh yeah, this is like, in this situation, it's just a picture that came out,
yeah.
and an influencer that's commenting on what we've seen, but
People
like,
who are paid
yeah,
to run with narratives on top of that.
but we never hear the side of like, oh yeah, that I'm the bad guy or I'm not the bad guy. And
Yeah.
we don't expect as much of that, but like, let's give people grace to know that this is true or this is not true.
Yeah, and
Mm,
also like we're not here to discredit Musa Kawul or Chris Excel. Shout out to them for doing whatever they're doing.
mm,
But like I'm gonna like if you're gonna think that what they say is the Bible, like then I think then the problem is bigger than just me now. Like, oh, maybe you need to you get what I'm saying? Like the problem now is just bigger than just what they're saying. I think maybe you also need to check yourself to be like, wait, am I gonna
mm.
assume that whatever Chris Excel or whatever Musa Kaudla says is true? Because those guys know that engagement is what keeps their relevance. Like it's that's what keeps their relevance. So you need to also just
And I guess we're in a world of free speech,
yeah, we are.
that everybody is entitled to like give their point of view and
Mm,
whatnot. But
mm,
like,
mm.
it's always very like, we should be conscious of what we take in and what
Yeah,
we believe. So
that is
like,
true.
let's just have a questioning view of saying, oh, Musa Kala, like, is this, what facts are these behind what you are saying?
Yeah,
Then he
yeah.
shows evidence or whatever it is. It's not just a case of a black man did this and this is what happened. Nah, like, a lot of situations are, we are condemning people, but like, we are not providing evidence, and it's very tragic for us. you
Yeah,
know
it's terrible. It
Mm.
it really is terrible. Who's this? I was actually looking at the Liam Payne. Is it Liam
Yeah,
Payne?
Leon Payne, One Direction guy,
The
right?
One Direction
Mm.
guy. That guy was actually smoking whatever. He was doing drugs
Yes.
in his room or whatever. And he jumped off what do you call this? He jumped off the
Hotel room,
building
yeah.
or hotel room.
Yes.
And if you look at what's happening, right, you see that on Twitter, as much as there were pictures that were floating about what drugs he was doing, people were not focusing on that. And I think as a black community, we need to also like have that grace for people to understand that, you know what, people do go through whatever they go through. And as a human being, you're also not perfect.
Yes.
Yeah,
And that's
simply
something
that.
that most people ignore.
Yeah, that's
and
something that people
and
ignore.
it's very quick to people, for people to ride on the wave of,
Yeah,
yeah, let's condemn him, let's
yeah,
cancel him, cancel culture is big now.
yeah.
But like,
Well,
give people grace. That's all.
give people grace. Wait
Mm,
for information to come out, and we're not saying that Kabza is innocent or whatever.
yeah.
But with the Kelvin Momo one, like guys, we just need to calm ourselves down. We don't like Kabza. I mean, Kelvin Momo doesn't owe us an explanation when he's done with his relationship. The same way you don't tell us when you stop posting your chick
Check,
or your
yeah.
girlfriend. No one asks you questions, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. So yeah, let's keep that one moving. But on another side with the Kabza,
Uh-huh.
all right, this is what I'm gonna say, and then you can chip in as well. If it is true, which I'm not saying is true, if it is true, or if there is a world where it could be true, or let me just say that hypothetically, as a guy, right, a famous guy, if you are doing gigs like wherever you're doing them, because obviously there's like what do you call this, there's groupies that you see and whatnot. I think the word is called roadkill or whatever. If there's ever a chick that you like and you end up sleeping with, and you know that you have a wife, and I'm not promoting niggas to do this, but bro, get the chick. What do you call this? A morning after, if you know that you didn't protect, because you don't want this type of stuff coming out about you. So that's the only thing I can say. Like, that's the only thing I picked up, and I want people to sort of learn from, to be like, you know what? If you're an artist, a famous person, da 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 da, even maybe not even famous, but
Yeah.
if something like this happens and you're not planning to have a kid with that person, maybe you need to take an after morning pill
You know,
to avoid the
it's a thought
consequences.
like that people should take into consideration and
Yeah,
whatnot.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Otherwise, you're gonna fuck around and find out in 2 months or 3 months later, and then some chick is like blasting you on Twitter. You know,
Mm.
you don't need that. You
Yeah.
don't need that. But yeah,
I s-
otherwise,
yeah,
yeah.
it's a personal one for most people.
Mm,
Yeah. I see that the McG situation, he got sued
McG.
by Nkosazana's daughter.
Yeah.
What do you make of that?
Yeah, the Nkosazana and McG, bruh.
Mm.
To be honest, right, what I can say is, guys, today I'm gonna be giving you too much advice, so you need to brace yourself. I'm not in the best mood, but I'm good. I'm good. What I can say is that, guys, if you have like, my advice is that, um if you are someone who goes on Instagram, or and you talk about your life, maybe you're a content creator or whatever you're doing,
Mhm.
where you gossiping about other people, or you're talking about other people's lives, right? Like we do, you need to watch how you speak about them, because don't think that the fact that you said allegedly, or the fact that when your show starts it has a screen that says the opinions and what of the members of the show, those things don't really don't really mean that you won't be held liable.
Yeah.
That's my first take on it,
Yes.
right? And also, if ever you hear a story and you didn't hear
That you
from the
cannot
and you didn't hear
validate.
from the horse's mouth,
Yes.
you didn't hear from the horse's mouth, but you had a story, you shouldn't go on a public platform, irregardless of how you feel
Hmm.
or how excited you are. You shouldn't go on a public platform and talk about it,
Mm.
because you're gonna get your ass sued.
Like I think like at this stage, I think McG is a big influencer in like
Yeah,
what he does.
yeah.
He has a big podcast and a lot of followers.
Mm,
So I think there's a high expectation of him validating where his source is coming from.
mm,
So like in this situation, it was just a situation of like he just said something out,
mm,
and then he came on the next pod, not the next pod exactly, but like he was like, no, my source was not correct. But like I trust that you are having the right source.
mm,
So it was just a shame that to see Nkosazana has every right to sue him
mm.
because he did not get his facts right.
Yeah, he
And
didn't.
and and at the end of the day, it makes him look like he's not validating his sources. And that's a big issue for like podcasting and whatnot. So
We're basically peddling back to what we started with,
mhm.
to be like, guys, if you're not sure about the shit that you're talking about,
Validate it.
validate your sources, bruh.
Validate your source.
Validate your source. Like McG's biggest mistake was the fact that he heard from Saul that Saul said that, hey, I heard from this other guy, and like, bro, like, how don't you, like, you're already a podcaster? Don't you think that people are trying to drive narratives through your show because
Yes.
they know that you live off clout, like you live off those type of saucy topics,
Yes.
so I think that on his side that was a misstep. That's the first misstep, that he didn't validate his source. And even then, he went on the episode and say that, if I'm lying, sue me, yeah. And then on
And
top of that, he apologizes.
yeah, she sued and then he still apologizes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they sued and then he
Because
apologized.
in
Yeah.
my mind, I would have thought like
Mm,
if he was so sure about his source, he can go to court and fight the case, because lawyers, if you are so sure about your source, lawyers can compel the other source to prove it as well,
Yeah, to prove that
but like since
they're
he
not
came back
right.
to
Yeah.
apologize, is that he was not so sure about his source.
Yeah.
And he was like, even he was even live and said, oh yeah, my source was not so sure.
Yeah. I
And
think that was also a
yeah,
misstep.
which
Yeah,
was
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
how much more information do we accept from?
From him
Yeah,
even. Yeah.
exactly. So like we always give a blind side on saying that, okay, this is original source, but like in truth is like people just hear and hear and then they want to say. But like
Mm.
we should always kind of have that, as viewers, listeners, whatever it is,
Mm.
we should always have that second ear of saying that, okay, like what do you mean by this? Like you do not even validate your source in the,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the fact that he even went on another episode and said that, hey, we are sorry, Nkosazana, 1, 2, 3.
yeah,
That is him admitting that he just said something for clout, for
yeah,
clicks. And that on its own,
mhm,
it's him admitting that he didn't know what he was talking about,
yeah,
number one. And so someone can sue you for defamation of character, bruh. And
easily, yeah,
yeah,
easily.
that's not even a small case, bruh.
Mm,
That's not a small case. There's this guy who um there's this YouTube guy, guys. I don't know if you guys remember him. He actually went on his platform and he started talking about how Bonang was doing drugs. And she didn't even validate that shit.
yeah,
That kid was sued, I think it was 500K.
yeah.
And that car and that
Eh,
case passed and he was found guilty.
yeah.
And that kid, I don't know if he's still paying it
And
or if he still has I don't think he has a channel now, but imagine now having to pay 500K
yeah,
because of something
but
you
but
said.
you should remember that Bonang has more to lose than the kid.
Yeah,
So she
she
has more to
does.
prove that this is not true.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
her going through and making sure that this kid
Yeah.
gets the punishment that he deserves, it's her protecting her reputation and her brand.
More than anything.
Yeah, so like it's not unfair for a celebrity to come through and attack
No,
like
it's not.
the source of
No,
where
it's
where
not.
you're getting your information from.
50 does it a lot.
Yeah, so like it's a thing of validate your source before you say it out,
Mm,
or be willing to take on whatever the consequences are. And in these cases where Bonan came after the boy,
mm.
he came up and he lost the case, and the court always wins.
Yeah, and
Mm.
chances are, bruh, if you're not sure about what you're saying, and you guys even know with Musa Kaula is in and out of jail, bro, if you're gonna say shit that you're not sure of, you're gonna be in court
But
and
also
you're broke.
Musa has actually built a reputation of actually spreading this stuff that people actually believe him, but we
Yeah,
never
nah.
really question him
No,
enough.
the
Uh-huh.
thing is, he's had like good moments
Yeah.
where he predicted stuff and it was correct and all
Yes.
of that.
Uh-huh.
So that he's built a reputation
Yeah.
where people sort of, but that doesn't mean that
We
he's
should always,
right
yeah.
in whatever all the time.
And yeah.
But yeah, otherwise, good luck to McG. We are actually fans of the show.
Yeah. Definitely.
We are actually fans of the show. But yeah, good luck to him. And let this be a lesson to everyone that, hey, you talk too much
He'll
and you
come back
never
to you.
stop.
Yeah.
They'll
Um.
come for you, bruh.
Maybe you should go on the international scene.
Yeah, let's do international
Yeah.
scene and see
Heavy.
what's been happening in the international scene. What's been happening though? I feel like there's a lot
Yeah. There's a
internationally,
lot
but
actually. Now
yeah,
I've seen. Have you seen like the Elon Musk had a road show where he was like presenting his latest project, and
I saw.
yeah,
What's the project about? I saw Tesla stuff.
yeah,
Was it the Tesla robot?
yeah, he presented Tesla robot
Mm.
taxis and the
Okay. Yeah, I
robot,
saw the
yeah,
taxi thing as well, and I was like, shit,
yeah,
are we gonna get rid of Ubers now?
and the robo like actual robots.
Mm.
And like it got me thinking a lot on like what's the future like,
Yeah.
because these things we saw them in iRobots, and like we thought like these things are imaginary, and
Yeah.
but like I saw something on a tweet like that said iRobots was like 2035, And now that I'm like in 2024, I'm like, oh, 2035 is like a few years from now.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
yeah.
it's just a thought of like, are robots actually here and they're about to take over the world? And is it gonna become our new reality, you know? So yeah.
I think it's, if there's one thing we can't underestimate is now with AI.
Mm-hmm.
With AI being implemented in our companies and all of that, what this means is that people will start employing robots to do some of the
Work.
some
Yeah.
of the stuff that they or work. Because this means that it could be possible that some companies might run using robots,
Yeah.
because that would be much easier. All you just need to do is pay. I think he's selling some of his isn't he selling some of his robots for like 20K? I think
Yeah,
he
yeah,
is
he
somewhere
is.
around there.
He is. I think like generally is that my thought process is just you can
And
never,
this is US dollars, so
yeah, yeah, US dollars. But like you can never bet against technology.
nah, you can
And
never
like
bet
when
against technology.
technology
Yeah,
is here, it's just here.
yeah,
Because
it is, it is, it is, it
if I
is.
think about like the early 2000s, people were like, yeah, internet is here, but like we're
Mm.
still gonna use cell phones to
Yeah, yeah,
communicate,
yeah,
you know?
yeah,
But like eventually technology just proved itself. And
yeah.
it keeps proving itself
Nah, it
over
is. It
time, you
does,
know?
does, does,
Like
does.
a lot of stuff have come and we're like skeptical about it. I was
Yeah.
like, okay, there's this thing called WhatsApp, but I'm still gonna send text messages. But now WhatsApp is all I use to communicate like through my messaging and stuff. So like you can
Wait, what are you saying about WhatsApp? What are you comparing WhatsApp to?
no like
I just wanna
instant
understand.
instant messaging like your local provider.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Maybe
like
just put your mic correctly there.
okay, so what I'm saying is that
Yeah.
technology always proves itself, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we always have a previous technology that we
Mm,
think is superior,
mm,
then we get a new technology and we're like, oh shit, why were we using the previous one? So like instant messaging, for example,
mm,
was our way to go. But like after we got like WhatsApp,
mm,
we
mm, mm.
realized that this is the way we can like actually send like images or whatever it is, and it's a
Yeah.
faster way to communicate.
Yeah.
So like fast forward now to 2024,
Yeah.
like someone is introducing robots into our daily lives,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
we're like, oh yeah, like it's not something that's very relevant. Some people like are saying it's very relevant, but like eventually we'll get to realize that robots are taking over for everything, you know?
Yeah, no, they're gonna take a lot over. But
Yeah,
sorry, no, let me not cut you, yeah?
yeah. So like I think like this is just the beginning,
Mm.
and we don't know what's about to come next. And like
What do you think is about to come next,
I
though?
think it's a lot. It's a lot because
What do you mean?
if
Yeah.
if if you think about everyday work, right?
Mm.
There's a lot of stuff that's very repetitive that
There is, yeah.
human beings do.
Yeah.
And eventually, like from manufacturing to like even
Mm-hmm.
like daily jobs of like an accountant or whatever it is, right?
Mm.
There are certain elements where it's very repetitive that someone else can do or can figure out
Yeah.
that doesn't require like necessarily consulting what a human has to give an opinion on.
Even with lawyers,
Even with
the
lawyers.
law is already
Yeah.
published.
So like obviously the technical people will be left out.
Mm.
Like there will be the exception.
Yeah, they'll be the experts. Yep.
Yeah. But
Yep.
like the basic work admin and whatnot,
Yeah.
we'll see eventually like people like computers AI
Mm.
replacing them. And
Mm.
we'll just come into a world where one moment we are thinking that now we are not replaceable. The next moment is like everything is AI related. And then we move on to the next world.
No, it's very much possible that we will move into a world where robots will start taking over what human beings do on a daily basis. And it's gonna get to a point where not just daily work. I think
Yeah.
it's because you know what happens is that when
Evolves.
technology evolves, thank you.
Yes.
When technology or as technology evolves, people also think about war,
Mhm.
and you know that the countries with the most sophisticated technology is usually the country that has the best military
Yes.
weapons, military whatever, and people are going to start building, people are going to start employing some of the robots even in their military forces, you
Yeah.
know. And it really is going to be a crazy world that we might live in,
Mm-hmm.
where people, because already right now we live in a world where there's the metaverse.
Mm-hmm.
And the metaverse is basically a world where you can buy like a plot, you can buy a house, you
Yes.
can, and that is scary in terms of like what the next 10 years represents. So it kind of is wild. I was even talking to someone at the office saying that even with GTA 6 coming in,
Yeah.
I think there is a reality where people will start pumping money into GTA 6, and you will have missions that you'll have to do, and people will start earning through video
Yeah.
games.
Yes. And this is not to ignore the benefits of AI, right?
Yeah, no, it's
Like,
not.
like AI has its benefits.
Yeah.
Like it's gonna make things more simpler for us. But like I just
Hmm.
think we don't have a questioning mind to it
Yeah.
enough, you know?
Yeah.
Like obviously you if you wanna use AI in your workplace, whatever it is,
Mm.
but you never figure out like who's behind this. And there's no who. It's really just an AI technology, computer, whatever it is, that's actually thinking on your behalf. But to what extent do we rely on it? You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's the question that we kind of have
I
to
think
figure out.
we're gonna have to rely on it, bro.
We are gonna have to rely on it.
Yeah.
It's gonna be more sophisticated than we actually see it now.
Yeah. The next
And
5 years is gonna be
because
wild.
like
Yeah.
with the Tesla thing, I saw that it was serving drinks, it was answering questions.
Apparently, it can iron.
Yeah. So I was just like, oh shit, we're here now.
Mm.
Because like in your in you thought like,
But that also means people are gonna become dumb, more dumb,
yeah.
because if you can always ask a PC that, hey, let's say you're gonna call it Siri,
Mm-hmm.
and say, hey Siri, who was the first president and whatnot. The reality is that you don't have to memorize anything,
Yeah.
because there's always this servant that's there all the time to answer questions or even remind you about everything.
Yeah.
So there will be that aspect that some people might become a bit dumb, but some people might use that to actually like create
Become
better
more.
ideas.
Yeah.
And because I honestly think the first people who are gonna buy it are probably gonna be people who are like very very skilled,
Yeah.
and they might even use it to start typing its, emails and whatnot. Who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously we should be vigilant around this, but like let's see
Yeah. Nah.
what it holds in the
Yeah.
future.
You can be vigilant, but like, what can you do?
Mm.
You know, it's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen.
Yeah.
You can never bet against technology.
You can't, but
Mm.
and also at the same time, it's like we're all replaceable, you know.
Definitely.
But yeah, hopefully it doesn't get to a point where people start sleeping with robots. Like that's the only one thing
Relax,
that I.
guys. Relax, guys. We're not yet there, but
Nah, I think we're gonna go there.
yeah, like
Nah, I think we're gonna go there where people start sleeping with robots. It's possible. Cause what happens is when something comes out and it's there to do good, what people do is like they're like, wait, can this thing shoot a gun? And
yeah.
then they put it in the military. And then there'll be people will be like, wait, can this thing have sex? And once it starts doing that, I
Then
swear to God,
it's
people are gonna
the
stop
Wild
getting
West.
married.
Yeah,
Yeah, the marriage rate will just
because
drop.
you'll get someone who's identical to you, like what your interests are.
Yeah.
Then
You just order there, you pick, you're like, hey, you're
it's
gonna
like
end
going
up
to McDonald's,
yeah,
and then you pick whatever you
yeah,
want.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a crazy world, man. It's
You're
a
gonna
very
find
crazy world.
yourself like, who knows, maybe in the next 20 years our kids are gonna find themselves talking to robots thinking that they're chicks,
Yeah.
like being like, hey, can I just, and then it's like, hey, who are you?
You know what's so crazy is that like I don't even see robots being like that programmed. It's
Mm.
gonna be like sounding like the girl that you actually
Yeah,
like,
you
you know?
actually like,
Mm.
yeah.
And you're gonna think like,
Mm.
it's just a crazy world, man.
Nah, things will get wild.
Yeah.
But hopefully they don't get that wild. If they do get that wild, Jesus, please come back. and save us from all these traumas that might come. Okay.
Yeah.
Other than that, what do we have internationally? What do we have?
I think like I saw a tweet from Future.
Oh,
Yeah, like Young Thug tweeted
the
something.
future tweet.
Yeah, the Future tweet.
No, no, no. It's actually a young tag. Young tag
Yeah,
tweet.
no,
Yeah,
Young Thug
sorry.
tweeted
Yeah,
saying something along the lines of
we need to
music.
get back
Yeah, music is
together.
not the same without us.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
he tagged Drake and Future in the tag in the post actually.
yeah. And I think Future retweeted.
Yeah.
Retweeted it.
What are your thoughts on that? Because like Future retweeting means that he felt some type of way, around it.
Oh, he agrees.
Or
I
we
think he agrees. Once you retweet, you agree.
but he is also the same guy who organized the
Yeah, yeah,
downfall of Drake,
yeah,
Yeah, I know our viewers like know about this.
yeah. No, no, no,
Yeah,
no. Wait, we're not sure because this is not like the J.Cole stuff.
yeah.
Yeah, but what I wanted to say was that I think that Future, right? If he is retweeting, okay, so Young Thug is still in jail, right? So Young Thug is also saying that type of stuff. And also, how does Young Thug have a phone in jail? But hey, that's a story for another day. If Young Thug is tweeting from the cell,
Yeah.
right? Or what do you call it? From the cage. Or from the can. I think they call it the can. If Young Thug is tweeting from the can, it means that he is also thinking of he's also thinking that he might come back soon.
Mm-hmm.
And he's also thinking that when I do come back, whose side? I don't want to choose sides. That's what he's saying. He's also saying that, hey guys,
Because
I don't want to come back and choose sides as to, do I fuck with Drake? Do I fuck with Metro? Do I fuck with Future? I just want to make music
yeah,
and we should all eat.
and he has a track record with all artists.
Yeah.
Like
He's worked with all of them.
he's made bangers with both of
Yeah,
them, and
all of
he's
them.
like,
Yeah.
he wants to keep the peace
Yeah.
going forward. When he does come back.
Yeah, and
But like
it's all
the
money
thought
related though. Yeah.
is the peace to be made going forward, because we already established that Drake and Future are not on good terms.
Mm.
So like it's the thought of, is
I
there
don't think
gonna
for Drake there is. They look. I'll say this right. Drake. I saw this other stats that say that Drake is the most what do you call this? Is the most streamed artist on Spotify
yeah.
this year.
Uh-huh. But
And
streams don't make your relationship with an artist.
no, 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 it doesn't. But
Okay.
that means that even without you releasing an album this year, because Drake didn't release anything.
Nah, nothing.
Even without you releasing an album this year, you are still the most popular artist.
Yeah.
There's people who release Kanye West,
Yes.
Future, and Metro Booming,
Yes.
and they are like number 4, 5 down that list. Number one, I think it's Drake. Number two is Travis Scott, and we know what Travis Scott does, right?
Yeah.
Number two is Travis Scott. Number three, I think it's Kanye West.
Uh-huh.
Number four, I think then number four is Future, yeah. And number four, Future from Kanye West is like 9 billion streams away from Kanye West.
What?
And Drake has
That's how
like,
much the difference is.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, but like if I'm being honest, right? Like it's like for me, it's more of alarm bells for me, Metro and Future, because Drake can, for me, what I think is Drake can just outlive them by not making music with them until they become irrelevant.
Yeah.
And then he'll just wait for the new kids. And then he'll feature the new kids and he'll just stay relevant forever.
For me, it's just a thing of
Like Drake doesn't need Future at
yeah,
all.
you could say that, but like you never really know what's the relationship between Drake and Future as friends. No,
I don't think they're that close.
yeah,
I
but
think
like
sometimes we
no,
make it seem like people are close when they're
it's
not.
cool to say that, but like if you think of any artist like that has dropped a mixtape with Drake,
Yeah.
Future is the one, and 21 Savage is the other one.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like they've gone an extent of actually, because Drake has actually mentioned that the Pluto stuff hits him the most.
Yeah, yeah,
So
he did say.
so you could ignore that. You could think of it like as a musical thing, but actually they have a close relationship musically. Like they
Yeah,
actually connect.
musically,
Yeah,
musically, they
musically.
definitely,
So
definitely have
like
a close
I would
relation.
like to think that Drake actually knows that him making music with Future is actually not chart wise the best for him,
Mm,
but like he actually enjoys the process with Future,
probably.
Yeah, so like I think Drake is actually head about the Future stuff,
Yeah.
and Future is also thinking about it twice, that maybe actually me and Drake actually were better off working together than actually being against each other. Because like Future is sided with people that he hasn't actually made music with for a long time.
Mm,
Because if you think of ASAP Rocky, Kendrick Lamar,
mm, mm.
those are artists, and that's not to ignore that Future hasn't done songs with them,
Yeah.
but those are not like his chemistry or like where his biggest hits are. But he knows that,
No, his biggest hits are with Drake.
yeah, and
That's a
Kendrick
fact.
and Young Thug is pointing out that music is not the same without us making music together.
And that's because Future's mixtape also doesn't slap the way it should. It's mid.
Mhm. It's mid. We all know it's mid. Like, let's all admit that all we are looking for is the beef rather than actually listening to the music. And when we do listen to the music, it's like mid.
Look, I'm just gonna say this, right? I think if I was Drake, and which I'm not, if I was Drake, this is what I would do, right? If I was Drake, because I'm a petty ass nigga, at core, because I'm just a petty fucking ass nigga. What I'll just do is I'll just be like, you know what? I'm just gonna out I'm just gonna outlive these niggas in terms of just waiting them to dry out. Because let's be honest, my favorite Drake song is not doesn't even involve Future.
Or any of the.
It's been a while since I even listened to What a Time to Be Alive.
Mm,
It's been a while since I even listened to Working on a Weekend as usual.
yeah.
Na 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 na
But
na
you can
na
also
na na
ignore
na
that
na.
those are also highlights in Drake's career. Small career. No, look,
No, they're
when
footnotes.
no,
They're footnotes.
no, when
They're
we
not
say
highlights.
no, when they're even if they are footnotes, right?
Yeah.
It's a moment we look back in Drake's career and we are like, okay, this happened and was a
Yeah.
great moment. But like there are also artists Drake has featured and we are like, okay, this is not even like something we mentioned or any of that. So like
Yeah.
future
Yeah.
plays,
No, Future was his best collaborator.
yeah.
That goes
If we
without saying.
look back at Drake's best collaboration artist, I could name Future as the highest in there.
I think his best collaboration is Lil Wayne.
I
It's just
still,
that they never had an
mm,
album together.
I think it's still Future.
I think
As
that
far as
I think the
as far
Miss
as
Me.
what they've proven, you cannot want to say "Miss Me" the one song is better than
No, she will.
high. Okay, high five. High, yeah, no, they have good song.
Yeah, they have good songs,
They have
bro.
good
Like they
song.
have fire songs. What do you
Yeah,
mean?
but like I feel like
Like those
their
two
music
songs
is
are
kind of
better
out.
than
It's
yeah.
outdated
No,
from
yeah,
outdated from a perspective of like,
yeah. Maybe
the,
do this. I think it's becoming a bit too loud. Yeah,
yeah, no, their music is sort of outdated
yeah,
from the context of the new age. Like,
yeah. No, true.
yeah, like you don't want to play their old music because they did this thing together before. Miss Me, for example, right?
Yeah,
It's like in the current tech context of where music is,
yeah.
Future and Drake have the best collaborations.
Uh, I don't think it's fair to disregard the fact that
Hmm.
Drake and Lil Wayne had
Hmm.
collaborations. For us, that was relevant.
Yeah.
Some of you guys are 2000s, and it's okay. There's nothing wrong with being a 2000. But I'm gonna say this: whenever Lil Wayne and Drake made something, you just knew it was heat. Was it enough? They didn't make enough records together. Yeah, that's true. That goes
Mm.
without saying. But I think that like whenever I went through the Carter and I saw
The
Drake,
Drake
I was just
and
like, nah,
Wayne.
nah, 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 nah. Go to
Uh,
this song. I'll tell you, like, without, like, because Drake comes with the hook, Wayne comes with the lyrics,
yes.
and then Drake will also pull through
Yeah.
lyrically, you
No,
know?
the combination is very
Yeah.
fire. It's very good.
I think Drake's like Drake's
So what you're trying to
collaboration with
prove it is that at the ends is Future does not Drake does not need Future.
Yeah,
Future
no, he
needs
doesn't.
Drake.
Nah, he does. No, Drake will never need Future. There's no world where Drake needs Future.
Never,
No,
never.
no, there's no world where Drake needs Future. Cause what's Drake's last best song?
Oh, there's a couple of them.
No, no, no. What's Drake's last best song? That's my question. Drake's last best song is First Person Shooter.
Yeah,
Was
with
Future in it?
no,
Exit.
not at all.
And then there's also 21 Seb.
Yeah,
That album.
yeah,
Was Future involved?
no.
Exactly.
It's never really like Drake needs any other artist to make what he contributes to to a song.
Yeah.
Like he just needs to come there and make the song big. But
Which is what
Future,
I'm saying is
uh,
that Drake doesn't need Future. Future needs Drake. That's the reality.
yeah,
We had that Plutowski. He better fucking shove it into his dustbin or whatever. Hey, Future, you need to be serious, Chief. We're not gonna take that nonsense that you're giving us. Fuck that shit, bruh.
yeah,
Like I listened to Plutowski and I was like, bruh, is this nigga making music? Like, cause some of the problem is with people like Future, you're growing with the artist,
yeah,
but you're realizing that the artist doesn't want to grow. So like, what the fuck? You get what I'm saying?
very much.
Yeah, like grow with us as your audience. Like we understand that you want to feed or cater to the younger audience, but come on, man. Like
Plutowski was not an effort
Plutowski
from
was
yeah,
was was as
and
terrible as it
we always get
happens.
artists that sidetrack from what they are usually doing, but like
Fucking
Future
hell.
is big enough for him to sound like mixtape Future, you know.
Plutowski is the worst album I've had this year. I'm
Mm.
sorry.
No, I agree.
Yeah. And
There's
and I was listening to it and I was like, there's no feature in all of the songs. And I was like, you know what? There's someone who needs Drake. It's this guy.
definitely
I was like, nah, if there's a guy
who needs Drake.
who needs Drake right now, it is definitely Future.
Mm.
Future needs Drake. It goes without saying. That's why he retweeted. But you know what? Future, I understand why he did that, dog. Like, I would do the same, bro. Like,
We understand. We
Drake,
all understand.
Drake has too much heat under him, bruh.
Yeah, and your
Yeah.
chemistry is it is what it
Nah, the
is.
chemistry is fire.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, yeah, besides that, I think we have the. What do we have? What do we have? I think we had something. We had a nice last. Oh, the J Cole
yeah,
shit.
yeah. J.Cole, yeah,
Yeah, the response. So Cole came out with a response. Um, and yeah, basically responding as to why he didn't um get involved into the beef. So like, I just wanted to hear your side. What do you think? I don't want us to go too much into the
yeah.
track, but like, what do we think of the track, and then we can move on.
I have mixed feelings for it because the track is a good song
Track
because
is fire.
it
Yeah.
just comes out as J. Cole has been hibernating
Mm.
and then he comes out and raps.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
like that element of him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like him coming out to rap is good.
Mm.
But the stuff that he addresses on the song at the point where he's saying this is why he went this way and he shouts out to Drake and still says no, things are cool with everyone else. For me
Yeah.
that was whack,
Trying to
man.
be buddy.
Nah, that was whack, man.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
is hip hop and we are
Yeah.
expecting you to have a
Yeah.
caliber of competitiveness.
Yeah.
But now it's sounding like it's like they said J. Cole, Kendrick, Drake is the top three.
Yeah.
But now it's just the top two, you know? Like,
Nah, it's just the top two. All I
yeah.
can say is J. Cole, shut the fuck up.
Mm.
No one wanted
And
to
rap.
know why
And rap.
you left the beef.
Yeah.
No one wanted to know. We didn't fucking care.
Yeah.
We didn't fucking care.
And rap. Just show your skills, and that's all we want to know.
Yeah. Do your thing. Like, just don't even talk about the beef because you ran away from it.
Yeah. And you publicly did that. It's not like someone put a gun to your head and be like,
Exactly.
show us, you know? So like him coming out and addressing the Drake and whatever situation, nah. Because in a way it feels like he abandoned Drake for him to stand back. It's like me picking a
And
fight.
and he did that after, apparently there was a day that like during that week where Drake came out in front of a crowd They were at a party or a club or whatever.
Yeah.
And so Drake stopped the music and he
Mhm.
said that, yeah, there's people who are like fake friends, because you know Drake
Yeah,
takes
Drake is
things to heart.
petty. Drake is petty.
Yeah,
And I feel like being petty in these situations is good because you need to show people that I feel a type of way because I
yeah,
thought. Because
yeah,
if you think about it, J. Cole created the perception that he's gonna ride through, you know?
yeah,
He
yeah,
did first person shooter,
yeah,
and then okay, that's the first step.
yeah,
Then he also had the diss track that
yeah.
made the hype feel like okay,
No, he,
Drake,
he he set up Drake.
yeah,
He set up Drake.
yeah,
And I think we had this conversation together where I told you that my biggest issue with J. Cole was that J. Cole was the first one to respond to what was it like that,
mm,
right? He was the first one to respond to like that. And when he did respond to like that, what he did was, because he responded, he created a time clock, or what do you call it? A time,
that clock was never
yeah,
there.
a countdown,
It
and it
was
was
never
never there.
there.
It was never there.
It was
Yeah,
it just became there when J. Cole responded.
released. Yeah,
Yeah,
he released his 7 minute drill,
yeah.
and that meant that once he says that, hey, you know what, I actually don't want to beef. It means that we now look at Drake and be like, hey, Drake, what's gonna happen now? Like, you know.
Mm. And
So
eventually he
yeah,
backed out, and that's where it ended. Now
mm.
for him to come back and say
Yeah, I
that
know with the song.
Drake is still my homie.
Yeah.
Nah, that's whack, man.
Mm.
This
The
is
song is called Port of Antonio. You can go and listen to it. He's rapping so smoothly and amazingly,
mm,
but otherwise he's lying.
he's like
Yeah, no,
all
he's
respect to J. Cole, but
yeah. All respects to J. Cole, but he's a liar, bro.
mm,
I think that he's lying half of the song, or even 80%. Oh, let me just say not half the song, like 30% of the song, because
yeah.
it starts off nice and then it gets terrible when he starts talking about how he didn't want to lose a friend and how he still loves Drake and all of that.
Mm.
And he talks about how his gun is deadly. So yeah, but I don't want to go too much into that.
How will we know your gun is deadly, anyways? You know, if you didn't shoot a gun, because everyone has a gun, and now others have taken their shots, but how is your gun more deadly than the other?
No, he's saying his gun is deadly. I don't know.
Ah,
I don't know who he killed, but J. Cole said his gun is deadly. I don't know if it's deadly from just it. Maybe where he like I don't know. I don't know. But he's saying his gun is deadly. He hasn't killed anyone.
we take what he said.
Yeah,
We take what he said,
he hasn't killed any
and what
rapper. But for now, we'll just assume that we'll
his
take
gun
his
is
word.
deadly.
Yeah, his gun is deadly,
Yeah,
and it's on safety.
yeah. It's always been on
It's
safety.
always been on safety. We
So,
don't even know if it has even bullets in
mm.
it, but it's deadly.
But shout out to J. Cole. We're not hating
Yeah.
or any of
Now
that.
we're not
Yeah.
hating. We're not hating on J Cole.
Mm.
All we're saying is the gun is deadly, and it has. We're not sure if it has bullets. Maybe it's in the safe, and the safe is locked.
Yeah, you never know. You
But
know.
wherever the gun is, like the gun is deadly, guys. So yeah, that's J Cole.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that that
That's
stuff is funny, bro.
uh,
But yeah, otherwise, you know what I've been thinking about.
mhm.
So this week I had this conversation with a friend.
Yeah.
Uh, chill friend of mine. We've been speaking, and so she was telling me that, you know what, I was like, so she posted something on, was it her WhatsApp? I'm sure WhatsApp was Instagram, either one. Okay, it's fine. And so she posted it, and she posted to say, and it showed balloons and her age. I don't want to say her age because now I'm exposing my age,
Mhm.
but it showed like as if like she was having a birthday or whatever. And I'm like, hey, happy belated, bruh. Like, I didn't know it was your birthday. Yeah, and only to realize that it wasn't her birthday. And I was like, oh shit, okay, when's your birthday? And then she's like, my birthday's on the 31st of December. I'm like, serious? She's like, yeah. I'm like, no, we'll celebrate you next year. Like,
31st of December. Like New Year's.
Yeah, New Year's Eve, New Year's Eve.
Okay.
So I was like,
Continue.
nah, we'll celebrate you next year, bro. Like, we're not gonna recognize you. And so it kept me like, I started thinking that, you know what, which birth, what's the worst time to have a birthday? Like, which birthdays are the worst? And I'm gonna start off with 24th or 25th of December.
I don't think anything is worse than 31st December.
Yeah,
Because
I think that takes the cup.
in my moment when I'm on 31st December, it's a new year. I have New Year's resolutions,
Yeah.
and I'm just trying to
But what
celebrate.
about 24th and
No,
25th?
24th, I could be like, oh, you're born with Jesus or whatever it is, right?
Jesus.
Yes, So I
Yeah.
could be like, let's celebrate the two of you. And it's Christmas. But like New
Yeah.
Year's, I think New Year's is very personal, man. Like how
Yeah, New Year's is personal. People want
no.
to do their own shit.
Yeah.
No one wants to go. Like, if you tell people that let's go to a restaurant on New
On
Year's
New
Eve,
Year's
people will be like,
Eve.
"Fuck you, bro.
Nah, man.
Chill."
Unless you have a really good plan about the restaurant and we're gonna have a lit fireworks night.
No, people are not gonna
No,
go to
that's
your.
the thought I'm thinking. Like that's the best case
Yeah,
scenario.
I think the worst birthday to have is the first,
Uh-huh.
and then the best birthday.
Uh-huh.
I've always been wishing that. Well, it's never happened. But the best birthday to have
Mm.
from your partner, right? Your girlfriend
Yes, it's
is
Valentine.
Valentine.
Yeah, that's how gives a fist bump. No, yeah, that's the best,
Yeah,
man.
cause like you just kill
Do
two birds with one
yeah,
stone. Yeah,
and you make it fabulous for them one time.
one time.
You don't
Yeah,
have to like look
yeah.
through the calendar
Nah,
and
nah, nah, nah,
yeah.
nah. You just know.
Mm. But
Yeah,
like the worst are obviously New Year's.
yeah. This is New Year's without a doubt.
Mm. And
Whether it's
also,
the first, maybe the first is not as bad, but the
uh
31st is definitely
31st
terrible.
that were terrible.
Yeah, 31st is terrible.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
also there's like public holidays that don't like resemble something. Like
Mm-hmm.
let's say Easter, for example.
Mm.
It's good that it's your birthday, but like I'm just gonna cool off and enjoy my Easter.
Yeah.
Cause like maybe I
Yeah.
had a terrible year
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I'm just trying to cool off for Easter.
Yeah.
So
No, that's true.
uh,
There's some holidays where like it doesn't slap to have, sorry, it doesn't slap to have a birthday during those holidays because yeah, it just wouldn't slap. Like a Easter, like we at that time we isn't it Jesus passed away and all
mm.
of that. So it's more of remembrance or whatever it is.
And it's not even a remembrance. I think it's like a break from
Mm,
the whole year
mm,
because Easter is like slightly longer.
mm,
And let's say I'm organizing a birthday party for you,
mm, mm.
people are everywhere. People
Yeah,
have plans for that
yeah,
weekend,
yeah.
And I don't think it's like the best because you don't even see people planning weekends.
Mm,
I mean, weddings for that specific holiday.
yeah.
People want to cool off and just enjoy like the best of what has to offer.
Nah, that's true. I actually want to do a small segment. Let me just, I want to just shorten it to say, shout out to Nicki Minaj on having one of the biggest female rapper tour.
Yeah,
Um,
grossing. Yeah,
got him! Got him! Female grossing tours,
of a female rapper.
of a female rapper. I think she did about 188 million on the Pink Friday 2 tour. That's the only shout out I wanted to make.
Yeah,
But otherwise, thank you guys for watching. We love you. Subscribe, all of that. You know how it goes.
down on the subscription
Yeah,
button,
yeah.
press that button.
Please, please, please. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe below. Raw Takes, episode 6. We'll see you next week. Yes, sir.